Fellas, one of the things that I'll tell you right off the get-go is it's hard to live up to something that's like that. And I'm not here to talk to you about things that I've been very fortunate to accomplish. And when I say accomplish, I mean a team, a bunch of guys, a bunch of coaches, and I'm just the guy, the figurehead. You know, I'm the guy that's being propped up by all my athletes over that period of time. But I do know that there's a couple of things that I want to share with you guys today. The first off is when I look around the field and I see you guys being coached by people, and I've talked to a couple of the young coaches that are here. I said, why are you here? You know, one guy plays at Pitt, and he's here on a weekend, one of his few free days he's going to have this summer. And he says that he wants to give back, all right, because the guy that organized this organization, this camp today, is Jason Brader. And Jason was maybe the single biggest factor for Muhlenberg being on the map. When Jason Brader was coming out of Lackawanna, he'd worked really, really hard to get average high school grades up to the point where he could be a candidate for Muhlenberg College. So 2 years of hard work. And he had made a decision that he had to get a great education, and he wanted to play football, which are the two most important things that I look for. I look for a guy who wants a great education, and I look for a guy who has a burning desire to play college football. If you fall short of those two things, you can't be a recruit in my program, because I think you need to do those two things well if you're going to be successful on the field. Okay, you have to be committed, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about. But Jay Brader said, I'm going to make a commitment to Muhlenberg. And in 2 years, we were a 1-9 football team his first year. And he had about 1,450 yards rushing, and was a tremendous player in our conference. And the next year we jumped up to 5-5, and he added another 1,300. So in 2 years of college ball in a very competitive league, Jason Brader had 2,700 yards rushing. And we've talked many times, he and I, what do you think you would have had if you had played 4 years? And the numbers would have been staggering. But he set the tone because he took a risk, and he went to a school that did not have a good football tradition over the past 8 or 9 years. But it leads to a couple things. One, when you guys are getting ready to pick a college, whether it's going to be next year, guys, or whether it's going to be 2 years or 3 years or 4 years down the road, make sure you find a college that's going to help you get where you want to go job-wise. I knew I wanted to coach when I was your age, so I was definitely going to go to a school that would have a background in education that would allow me to get there. Number two, I was clear about my size, I was clear about my ability, and I knew I was a D3 program guy, but I had that burning desire to play. And so I picked a small Division III school, and I also picked a program where I thought we could win, where I thought we had a chance at winning. And now, all these years later, I've kind of used those same ideas to run my program. Okay, try to set Muhlenberg up as a place where a kid can get what he wants educationally, try to give him an opportunity to play, and make sure that he knows coming in that we'll give him an opportunity to win. No guarantees, okay? And that's how we've driven our program to the point where we're 8-2 this year, and a pretty good offense, great defense, things that we're very, very proud of. But let me tell you why I want to get in front of you guys and talk to you just for the next couple of minutes, all right? First of all, when I talk to my team, here's what I tell the guys. I want your eyes up and your ears open. So if you're not doing that right now, you get yourself situated, and each and every one of you get your eyes up on me, okay? You know, that's important when you're talking to your coaches, but another 10 years, if you're going for a job interview and you're staring at your feet, I guarantee you, you will not get the job. You have to be able to look someone in the eye, you have to shake somebody's hand, and you got to know how to do that the right way. So eyes up, ears open. You might just learn something. Commitment, okay? That's probably the most important thing as far as being successful that I can tell you about. You got to buy into a commitment. How many of you guys think you're committed? Okay? Put your hand down. Everybody's hand was up. All right? You don't have to answer this one. How many of you guys drink? How many of you guys are doing drugs? Okay? Parents don't know about it. Friends don't know about it. If you're not doing the right thing all the time, you're not as committed as you need to be successful, boys. And drugs and alcohol to excess are going to get you in trouble. You have to first and foremost, if you're going to be a committed athlete, decide to live the right life. You have to do things right if you're going to be a successful, committed athlete, okay? The people that are working with you today are committed. Dan Persa, all right, a committed athlete, a successful athlete at the highest level playing in the Big Ten. It didn't come easy, but he was committed in all ways, from what I gather from my friends who coached him at Northwestern, all right? You have to be committed in your personal life. And then in football, the way I figure it is, every team that you're going to play next year has got talent. And you know, maybe you run into one team that just is not very good and you know you're going to win. But when you play against another well-coached team and they're pretty talented and your team's pretty talented, what are you going to do to set yourself apart? How are you going to win compared to the other team? And I think it's about personal commitment, a commitment to being on time, a commitment to paying attention to your coaches, a commitment to doing everything right, a commitment to studying your playbook so you actually know what's going on, so you give yourself a chance, and making sure that you answer yourself at the end of the day, did I do as good a job today as I could have? Okay, you have to be eligible, so you have to make a commitment to do a good job in the classroom, right? You have to do a good job because you get F's and D's. I understand they won't let you play on Friday night. So you got to be committed that way, and then you got to be committed on the field. And so we talk at Muhlenberg to our pretty good guys that we recruited that you have to be more committed than your opponents, okay? You have to be willing to outwork your opponents. It's a simple thing, all right? If I feel like I've outworked my opponents, I give myself a chance of success, both physically and, more importantly than that, mentally. Because you really don't know the guy you're playing against, do you? You know, you've heard, your coach might have given you a scouting report. When you're lining up on a Friday night to play against some kid and you know you've killed it in the weight room and you know you've done all your running and you know you've paid attention to details and you've practiced hard, when you put your hand down in the dirt, you're going to have some mental toughness and you're going to say, I know this young guy across from me has not outworked me and I am going to blast him off the ball. All right? So that level of commitment to doing things the right way and working extremely hard is going to be probably the most important thing that you can take away from a camp or take into your season. If you're committed, you give yourself a chance to be successful. Is that just limited to football, do you think? No, absolutely not. Because football is just a step and you're growing up. If you play beyond high school, fantastic. You play beyond college, even better. But eventually you're all going to slide into your life's work and you have to be committed to that, you know. And that's one thing I know. I've been coaching ball on the college level for 38 years and that qualifies me as being old and experienced. But it's something I love and I'm committed to it, and I've always been that way, and I think that helps me be successful. It helps me recruit because young people look at me and say, you know what, this guy likes football. He likes coaching football and he's had success. And so people come, you know what I mean? They want to come and play for the Mules because of that. And our staff has been consistent. All right, Coach Kohler's out here, right here. Bob Kohler's been with me my entire 16-year tenure. All right, and I hope that he's drawn to our program because of the level of commitment that we have to providing a great experience. But when you guys get done with your playing, you're going to be competing on a bigger field and a harder field. People out there are going to be better, smarter than you in teaching or in business or certified public accountants, or when you want to go to med school or start a Jay Brader type of organization called FAST. There's a ton of competition. And if you're going to be good at it, if you're going to be successful, if you're going to be able to feed your family, if you're going to be able to take care of yourself, you got to have a high level of commitment. Okay? Here's what we talk to our guys about all the time. It's a 16-year thing. It'll carry on for as long as I'm there. Our first thing we tell our kids has to do with commitment. It's called dig in. All right? And dig in is a play on word on the fact that we're the Mules. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen a Western movie where somebody tries to pull a mule by the reins that doesn't want to go anywhere. and the mule won't go, because it's an animal that won't be led astray. And so we tell our kids, you got to dig in and not let people push you around or pull you around. And you got to dig in, you got to get your hands dirty, and you got to go hard, and you got to be committed. Work hard and be committed is all about what we say dig in is. The other thing we talk to our kids about is a thing called one heartbeat. Now, you guys have all heard that term, right? You've seen it on t-shirts. But really what that means for us is taking guys from lots of different programs in the entire northeast of the country and then melting them together and making a football team. As I say to them, there's 100 ways to run the trap, but you got to learn to do it Muhlenberg's way. There's 100 ways to run a weight program. You got to buy into Muhlenberg's way. If you're going to be good as a football team, you got to give up your personal identities. You got to stop thinking about the way you did it in junior high school or the way you did it on your Pop Warner team. You got to do it the way your coach wants to do it. And you got to get your teammates to do that. Okay, you guys will be leaders, because I know that you got guys from a lot of different teams here. So when you go back in the fall, because you've put in this kind of time on a Saturday morning in May, I hope that when you go back and you got the guys saying, you know, I don't know about this, my coach in Pop Warner or my coach, my junior varsity coach said we should be doing it. You got to put that down, because if you don't have everybody pulling in the same direction, you have no shot. Okay, so I expect that you guys will develop leadership out of that one heartbeat idea. Okay, be a leader. Understand that if you're going to be good, you got to all buy in. Without it, you have no chance of being successful in the most popular team game on the face of the planet, football. All right, and that's what makes it great, is 11 guys on one side of the ball playing together. So remember that, right? And then the last thing is we talk about championship climb. We actually put it on the top of our staircase going into our old football office, which was not very good, was it, Coach Kohler?
I had a little bit to beat it.
Yeah, it was not really good. But now we have state-of-the-art $13 million facility. Our offices are awesome, and but the old office had one thing at the top of the stairs, and it painted above the stairs, championship climb. And you guys have to understand, there's no such thing as entitlement. You work hard, you're committed, you're still not entitled to win games. You have to understand how hard it is to win a football game and how hard it is to string them together and be successful and win a championship. So when we put it at the top of our stairs, I asked our kids to think about championship climb every time they climbed those ratty stairs to our second floor office. And if they didn't duck down, they'd smash their head on a low overhanging concrete roof. All right? And they thought about that all the time. And the thing about a championship climb is it's hard to get there, and it's extremely easy to slip down. And just because you've been there once doesn't mean you don't have to work even harder once you've got to the top, because if you don't, you're going back down. What else happens when you're the best team? What happens when you play on a Friday night and you're the defending champions? What happens? Everybody wants to beat you. Everybody's bringing their what we call A game, right? So those three things, dig in, which is working hard and commitment, one heartbeat, making sure that you guys buy into what your coaches are doing, get your teammates to buy in, because you're only going to be as good as they are, okay? And then understanding and taking hold of and thriving at the championship climb. You wrap those all back around, boys, and you're talking about the type of commitment that you see out of the coaches that are working with you today, the type of commitment that people around you have, that your moms and your dads, are your guardians, the Boosters Club, people are committed to seeing you be successful. All right? Most important thing I can tell you. I wish you guys the very best of luck in the fall. Crank it up, have a ton of fun, make sure you work hard in the schoolwork, make sure you know that the better you are with the grades, the more options you have, and just make sure that when you guys get ready to pick a college, that you find a place where you can go, get what you want educationally, have a chance of being successful as a team, and make sure you pick the level of play where you can have a great career. Good luck to you guys. Thanks.